Hi, my name is Kevin, and this is my 2002 Volkswagen Golf GLS 2.0. So, as you can tell, I did get into a little crash. I slid and hit a guardrail. It was a little right-hand turn, the rear end kicked out, and I counter-steered and caught it. And then the snapback threw me, and I brushed the guardrail with my front end, and then I spun, and also came around and hit it with my rear. So, this was my first car. I put a lot of time, money, effort into fixing up, learned everything, mostly everything I know about cars in this car. I love these Mark IVs. This is my thing. So it's sad to see it go, but I got a new project. All right, so here is my 2003 Volkswagen Golf GLS 2.0. It's a lot of the same spec as the old one, so I can use that one for parts. But I didn't take this video to the day after, but I wanted to give a description about this car. I got it for 700 bucks. Does need a couple things to it. It needs motor mounts. It's straight piped, really jankly. It looks like the welds are not too good. So it does need a flex pipe for the top half of the exhaust. And then the power steering is a little iffy. But yeah, in this video, we're showing how I'm doing the motor mounts. All right, so to do the motor mounts, it shouldn't be too hard. Watch a couple YouTube videos. I'm a YouTube mechanic. We're gonna show what needs done. So if you come over here, this is the first motor mount. It's normally blocked by the air box, but we have this really pretty Amazon intake. So right here is the first motor mount that's blocked by this. So I'll take this off and I'll get that one out and replace that. Second one is this one right here, which all these previous owner gave me for free, brand new. Thank you to him. Thanks, Gabe. So then we'll go right here. This is motor mount number 2, right there. And then, you can't see it now, but it's got the dog bone mount. Mounts behind the engine, bolts right into your subframe, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we're gonna get started doing that. First step, we're gonna take the intake off, which is, if you have a stock air box, I don't know how to take that off. I bought the car with this on it, but this is gonna be in the way to get that out. So we're gonna unscrew these 2 exhaust clamps and slide it down out of the way. So next we're gonna get this. There's gonna be holes so we can reach the bolts better. You just pull out on the outside plastic. And it should just come right out. Well, we're not gonna take it out. We're just gonna leave it like that, but it gives us all the access holes we need right here. That goes to one of the main bolts, and then back here, as you pull these wires out of the way, you can see that blue little bolt head. There's the third one we need. So, next step, so that way it relieves the pressure off the motor mount. You're gonna take a piece of wood, you're gonna put it on a jack, you're gonna lift your engine a little bit. The wood's gonna help protect the metal and metal, make sure it doesn't mess up your oil pan at all, but you're gonna put it on the right side of your oil pan, lift up the engine just a little bit just to relieve the pressure. That should be good. All right, first we're gonna take off these 2 18mm bolts that bolts the engine mount to the engine. I already broke them loose off camera, so we're just gonna All right, and then these two, are gonna be one here, one here. I don't know what the back one is yet, but those two, they're gonna be 16s. And back here is a little access hole. So if you just kind of make sure these wires are out of your way, you can get down to that other 16. You can just get it all in there. Then this back one, believe it or not, it is a 13. You pull these wires out of the way, there's a little access hole. All right, so it takes a little bit to get out, but if you look down here, I did crack the little, I don't even know what these wires go to, but these little wire guide. Ain't nothing really crazy, it's fine. Then go ahead and put this really pretty new one in. If you see, slide this one back in, and then we're gonna start with the 13 millimeter in the back again. And this clean little motor mount only shows how nasty this 20-year-old engine bay is. All right, well then I'm not gonna tighten it down the whole way, so I can still slide it to make sure these other bolts line up. Then we'll come back and give them all a nice torque. So we're gonna start tightening down these back two 16s. All right, so now we're gonna do these two 18 millimeters. And again, it really does help to have a long extension when doing this, so you're not trying to crank a wrench all the way down in your engine bay. You can have a lot more room. All right, so I torqued them all off camera, out with the old and with the new. All right, now we got the intake slid back up. We're gonna take these clamps, line it all up, and screw it in. All right, we got this all in, everything's back together. The first motor mount is done. I don't know what this tube is for from these intakes. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment. So the next motor mount is gonna be on the left side, the passenger side. For this, there's like two main things in the way. Some people mount them, I don't. I just kind of bend them out of the way as I need. I've done this one before. I had to do a water pump, and that sucks. You gotta take out a lot. But so we're gonna take out this coolant jug and then the power steering, and we should be able to get the second one out. So take out your coolant jug, Phillips number 1. Phillips number 2. You're gonna go ahead and remove those, and it should get out of your way. All right, so the coolant jug is out free. I have the screw sitting along the side. It's out. So next you're gonna do your power steering pump, which, as I said, don't fucking work. But first you're gonna take off, there's this little plastic cap over here, and it's gonna cover a 10 millimeter bolt. But yeah, once you pry this off, that 10 will be there, and you're gonna get that off. So next is this 10 millimeter at the bottom of here, which you should use a deep socket for, which I don't got, so I'm gonna sit here and struggle with a little wrench, but that's the next thing you're gonna take off. All right, so that takes a while. It's like a stud, but it's just that. Goes on and unscrews from there, but now that we have that, we're gonna go ahead and jack this side of the engine up. We're gonna try to get the left side more than the right now that we're working on the left engine mount. You can see the bolt down there, it's 16 millimeter. It's gonna be on that side and the back. We're gonna start with those 16 millimeters first. All right, so right here, there's one there, and there's one behind that hose a little bit. There are two 18 millimeters. We're gonna take those off next. So I pulled these two out of the way, and after we got all those bolts out, it comes right out. So we're gonna slide a new one down in there. Get it roughly in place so we can throw the screws in. Now we're gonna tighten these bolts back in here. So, got all the bolts in, tightened, as you can see, the 18 and the 16. Now we just gotta lock these back up and this motor mount's done. All right, got all the bolts back in, pop that little guide on, and the left engine mount is done. If you see, yucky. All right, so for this dog bone mount right here, you can't tell it's missing a bolt. So honestly, these engine mounts might not be as bad as I really thought, and it's just these bolts. So I wonder how bad the threads are on that thing getting yanked on, and then if that one popped out or something, I don't know. But I got my old car. I'm gonna go get the bolt out for that and take it off and see what the damage is. So in that video, I showed the dog bone mount hanging out of the subframe. The bolt that was gone is snapped off and stuck in the threads, and then the other one on the right, when I took that out, it was like a 90-degree bend in it. So trash. It was sitting there hanging, bending back and forth on that because the dog bone squishes, gives a compression for the engine back and forth. So that hole is gone, and there was like a nut like booger welded behind the subframe. So the next step for this thing is a subframe. All right, so now that we got the new subframe in, we can finish doing the dog bone mount for our engine mount. You're gonna rock your engine up just a little bit so you can get this bolt in, and then this bolt, and you're gonna put those in, and then we're gonna tighten them all down. These are 16s, by the way. All right, and then these back two that attach your dog bone mount to our fresh subframe, those are 13s. All right, now after we got the new subframe in to get this jank old dog bone mount, that's how you replace all your motor mounts.